Ever since I can remember, I've had an aversion to being alone. More accurately, I hated being left alone with my thoughts. As a baby, my parents told me I cried the loudest the moment they left the room. But when we moved to the city, they noticed I became much calmer. Even when they left me be, I didn't wail like I used to. I always wondered why that was until high school. That was when I realized it wasn't the loneliness I feared. It was the silence that comes with it. The incident happened during my senior year. We were given the chance to go camping in a remote, well-known ground down south. It was a little get-together before graduation. Since it was a school activity, we couldn't go too wild. By the time we arrived, it was already noon. As we set up tents and equipment, I was tasked with the simple job of gathering branches. It was my first time being surrounded by woods. Until then, all I knew was the city, its constant echoing noise, and the endless flow of people. For a moment, I felt a wonder I couldn't explain, the thrill of discovering something strange and new. I was warned not to go beyond the ropes surrounding the campground. The teachers said it wasn't necessarily dangerous, just that I could get hurt by the thick roots and foliage, or perhaps stumble upon the occasional animal. I heeded their words, but the excitement pushed me right to the edge. I made a dash through the trees. The farther I went, the fainter the sounds of the camp became. They were now barely a whisper until I reached the rope separating the site from the overgrown forest. It felt surreal, but I had a job to do. I began picking up branches when I saw something out of the corner of my eye. I assumed it was a classmate who had followed me to the boundary. I offered a casual greeting as I continued to gather fallen wood. When no greeting came back, a prickle of unease set in. I bundled the wood and looked around. A cold sweat ran down my back. No one was there. I was certain I'd seen someone, and they could not have disappeared without me hearing them walk away through the dry leaves. Then just behind me, I heard a soft shuffle. I spun around and saw gray. An expanse of colorless void covered everything. I collapsed because the sudden drain of color made my legs feel like jelly. I screamed, but nothing came out. I felt the air leaving my throat, but no sound entered my ears. Then the realization hit me. I couldn't hear anything. Not the wind in the leaves, nor the crunch of my own boots as I tried to stand. I wanted to marvel at the impossibility of it, and then I heard it. Just a bit more. A whisper broke the vacuum. I turned and saw a shape, humanoid but wrong, hunched over a tree and staring at me. It was the same uniform gray as the world around us. It stood up and began to glide toward me. As it drew closer, the features became clear. It had a mouth-shaped void with no lips. Its eyes were mere slits, torn open to reveal two needle-like white dots. Its body was naked and featureless like a mannequin, and when it raised its hands, I saw a flash of sharp blades where fingers should be. It took a step, then stopped. A loud, crushing sound of leaves echoed, but the sound didn't come from its feet. It came from the air around it. I could feel a sick sense of joy emanating from the thing. Just a bit more, it repeated. The voice made my blood run cold. It was my voice. It sounded like a recording of me, played back through a broken speaker. It froze, looking feral like a predator about to pounce. It roared, a silent, gaping motion before whispering again, just a bit more. It lunged. I didn't think, I just ran. I sprinted blindly toward where I thought the campsite was. Suddenly, the dull roar of people talking filtered back in. Bit by bit, the volume rose. I blinked, and the colors of the world slammed back into place. I collapsed in front of the others, sobbing with an overwhelming sense of relief. My classmates looked at me with confusion and worry until a teacher rushed over. I was hyperventilating so hard I fainted. I woke up on the bus. The trip had been canceled. Later, I learned that when the teachers went to investigate the area where I'd collapsed, they found a nightmare. The wood I'd gathered was shredded. The ground and the trees were scarred with deep, jagged claw marks. They asked what I saw. I tried to tell them the truth, but they dismissed it as a hallucination brought on by shock. They didn't diminish the danger, though. They knew something had been there. That was 5 years ago. I haven't left the city since. Call me a coward, but I refuse to go back. Strangely, I came away with what my friends call a superpower. I can sneak up on anyone. The truth is, I can't produce a footstep unless I'm wearing heavy shoes or walking on a loud surface. My natural gait is perfectly, unnaturally silent. On the flip side, I'm terrible at secrets. No matter how hard I try, I can no longer produce a whisper. Sometimes I wonder if I should go back to find what I lost. But then what? I'm not sure I could even take those things back from it. So I stay here, in the hustle and bustle of the city, where it's never quiet. The creature can keep my steps and my whispers. I'll keep what's left of me.